Alright, today we're talking about the retest on the 20CV RSK. Been using this knife a lot lately. Said in a previous video, I was on edge 13 when that one was done, and I put edge 14 on it. Since I was testing a bunch of other knives lately at the same time, I went ahead and ran the retest on this to see what would happen. As you guys know, in the past, I've had a couple knives, the M4 Freak and the QSP and M390, that in different ways ended up doing better when we hit that over a dozen sharpening mark. So we're going to watch the cutting real quick, and we'll come back and talk about this one, and we'll talk about the other two and how they did. Also, I probably should have done videos. This is not the third one of these that I've done. I have retested some other knives. However, they didn't improve, so I didn't think to make a video about it. In hindsight, I probably should have, just to show that sometimes things just don't get any better. So we'll watch that cutting real quick and come back and talk about how this did. Now that we got that cutting out of the way, go ahead and talk about first why I decided to retest this one. I really like the way the knife is in use. It's super comfortable for me, and it seemed like it was doing better. In sharpening, it definitely felt better. Deburred super easy, no problems whatsoever. So I figured I'd go ahead and give it a retest. I was curious to see what it would do. Now, I mentioned in the beginning the M4 Freak. That one was just really low, so I kept sharpening that one to see if it was going to do any better. And around edge 14 or so, 13, 14, it started performing like I would expect M4 to. The QSP M390, I used that to do a bunch of sharpening, and I used it, and I noticed that it was stropping back better, and I was definitely getting more mileage out of each edge than previous. Is that always going to happen? Easy answer for that is no. So I went ahead and retested this one to see what it would do. So on edge 14, ran the normal test just like always. This was 1500 grit on the KME. It is still at 17 degrees per side. And for edge 14, 134 feet fine edge, 99 feet working edge, for a total of 233 feet. No improvement whatsoever on fine edge, and 10 feet improvement on total amount cut. That's percent wise in difference from what it did before. That's going to be a wash. So I did go ahead and sharpen it while I sharpened everything else that I had tested, and I went ahead and ran another test on it just to be sure. On that one, I didn't do fine edge. I just did the total amount cut in a 1-inch section, and that one was 229 feet. So no improvement. I think this is more because it seems to me that it's lasting longer. I had some hope for it. It definitely sharpens better than it did before, but there is no performance improvement. I will say this is really easy to get to hair whittling. I have no problems doing that. Don't have to do anything special to it. Strop it any extra amount of time. This does use, since I've used it so much now, it's either like a better S30V to me or kind of like XHP. This does strap back well multiple times. Have no issues with it. I get about 2.5 to 3 weeks worth of use out of it with strap maintenance. Otherwise, no improvement. Which leads me to, I'm going to continue to do some of these as I can. Like I said, this is not the first one that did not have any improvement over the previous test, even with a lot of edges on it. So as I do them, I will definitely do videos on them from now on. Still a little, would like to see this 20 CV perform better. We do know the TRM and the Spyderco Mannix I did. 3 of the TRMs and the Mannix all hit over 300 feet of cutting, which is way better than the 230 that's been the best pass from the RSK here. You guys have anything to add to that? Do you have any knives that, as you sharpen them a whole bunch of times, they seem to get better, or they actually did get better? I'd love to hear about it. Put it down below. That's all I have for this one. As always, I appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.